Have you ever asked yourself, why do I care so much? Why do we, as humans, constantly seek validation, approval, and a sense of belonging from others? Today, we'll try to understand the root of this need. It's a journey that can reveal more about ourselves than we might expect. We begin with a question that, while simple, touches on the core of human experience. Why do I care so much? The question itself implies a struggle, an inner conflict between the natural desire to belong and the need to the personal freedom. In exploring this, we acknowledge that caring isn't inherently negative. It's often an essential aspect of connection and empathy. Caring is at the heart of what it means to be human. To care deeply about others, about a relationship, about the world around us. These are feelings that give our life purpose, meaning, and connection. But have you ever wondered why you care so much? What is it about human nature that makes us capable of such profound concern for the well-being of others? When at the time to the point of self-sacrifice. At the core, caring is a reflection of empathy, compassion, and bridge that allows us to feel another person's joy or suffering as if it were our own. This ability to empathize, to tune into the emotions and experiences of those around us is a gift. One that allows us from those bonds for support and feel truly connected. Imagine a time when someone close to you was going through a hard time. A natural response might have been to comfort them, to be there by their side. The sympathy at work, finding the care that strengthens a relationship. Our capacity to care, however, goes beyond individual relationships. It's a part of the greater social and evolutionary story. Throughout human history, our survival has depended not only on our strength and intelligence, but on our ability to form groups, to protect each other, and share resources. This deeply ingrained need to be wrong and responsible for each other's well-being is a part of why we care. By helping others, by looking out for the ones we love, we create communities and networks of support. Essential foundation of survival and growth. Yet, caring too much can become a heavy weight. When we care deeply, we open ourselves to vulnerability, to the risks of worry, stress, and even heartbreak. We become invested in other person's happiness, their struggles, the future. Sometimes the line between caring and overcaring becomes blurred, and we might find ourselves overwhelmed. At what point does caring too much begin to impact our own well-being? It's not unusual to feel torn between the need to care for others and the responsibility to care for ourselves. Still, that balance, though challenging, is essential. When we care for others while neglecting our own needs, we can become depleted, exhausted, or even resentful. It's a reminder that caring should include ourselves as well, nurturing for our own resilience so that we can continue to support our uplift and others without losing ourselves in the process. Ultimately, caring is not about perfection or sacrifice. The care is, but it's a beautiful act of connection, a reminder that our lives are interwoven with those around us. Through caring, we create purpose. We find meaning in the moments when we lift each other up, stand beside each other, and share in life's joy and struggles. In a world that can sometimes feel disconnected, caring is what brings us back to what matters most. the people, the values, and the passion that give our life depth and color. Caring is a deeply human experience, yet it's often one of the most misunderstood aspects of our nature. The act of caring is what unites us, shapes our lives, and fills our relationship with meaning. But for those who find themselves caring is a great deal about friends, family, society, or world at large, it's worth exploring what drives the most powerful emotion. Why do we care so deeply? What pushes us to invest our energy, time, and emotions into people and causes that may never directly affect us? At its core, caring is an expression of empathy. Empathy is more than just an ability to sense another's feelings. It's a channel through which we share in the emotions of others as we thought, living in their experiences. Imagine witnessing a loved one in pain. Immediately, your heart aches. Feel their distress, almost as if it were your own. This connection, this empathy, it's a fundamental part of being human, forms the basis of compassion, love, and ultimately, the way we care. But where does this empathy come from? Psychologists have found that empathy is wired into us as social beings, that humans are neurologically equipped to sense and respond to others' feelings. The origin of empathy lies in the parts of our life when associated with social bonding, trust, and emotional connection. This empathy driven carries the root of all human relationships, from the bonds within families to the friendship that carries us through life's challenges. Our deep care for others isn't about just empathy, though it's a part of our survival instincts. In early human history, survival depended on being part of community, of looking out for each other. Ancient humans who could work well together, protect each other, and share resources had a much higher chance of survival than those who were alone. This need for connection, this desire to care for each other, is part of our evolutionary heritage. Caring wasn't just beneficial, it was necessary. Through this lens, caring is about more than individual acts of kindness. It's a reminder of our shared humanity, our connection depths. When we care for others, it's as if we're reinforcing that ancient drive to survive and thrive together. Think of the mother caring for child, of friends relying around each other in the times of hardship, of communities coming together to help one another. These acts of caring are woven into the fabric of human history. They remind us that we're not alone, that we are stronger together. However, caring comes from its challenges. The more deeply we care, the more open we are to emotions and experiences of others. We share in their happiness, but we also feel their pain. This kind of emotional vulnerability is both beautiful and challenging. It's what makes our relationship rich and meaningful. But it can also leave us feeling overwhelmed. For those who care deeply, the boundaries between their own emotions and the emotion of others can sometimes blur. There's a fine line between compassionate and being overwhelmed by the suffering we witness in the world. This brings us to the questions of balance. Caring too much can sometimes lead us to forget ourselves, to neglect our own needs. It's easy to become invested in others, that we lose sight of our own well-being. Imagine the friend who's always there for others, who offers support and a listening ear, who struggles to express their own needs, or the person who constantly gives, whether to family, friends, community, without taking time for themselves. This is where caring can become a burden, a weight that can drain rather than uplifts. Learning to care is balanced way in of life's great lessons. It's about recognizing that while our capacity to care is limitless, our resources for time, energy, and emotional resources are not. To care sustainability, we need to find ways to nurture ourselves too. We need to set boundaries, to practice self-care, and to remember that caring for ourselves enables us to care for others even more effectively. Self-care doesn't mean selfishness. It's about relationships, our own will, so that we can continue to pour into others. Just as you wouldn't expect a car to run without fuel, we can't expect ourselves to care deeply and constantly without taking time to recharge. Practicing self-care is an act of kindness towards ourselves, one that ultimately enhances our ability to be there for others in a meaningful way. And while self-care is essential, it's also important to remember that caring isn't just about grand gestures or significant acts. Caring exists in the little things, the small, everyday actions that show others we are thinking about them. It's in the text you send to check on a friend, and the time you take to listen, the quiet ways you show up when it matters. These small acts of care may seem insignificant, but they build the foundation of trust and love that sustain relationships over time. In a world that often feels disconnected, caring can be radical act. When we care, we remind ourselves of what truly important, of what makes us feel alive. Caring is a way of saying, I see you, I value you, and I'm here for you. It's a bridge across the divides that sometimes separates us. A reminder that beneath our differences, we all share the same fundamental needs for love, for acceptance, for connection. This is the beauty of caring. It transcends the self, reaching beyond our individual lives to touch others in the ways we may never fully understand. Each time we care, we are participating to something larger than ourselves. We are contributing to a wave of kindness and support that extends far beyond any person. So, why do you care so much? Because caring is who you are. It's your connection to others, your empathy, your compassion. It's your heart's way of saying, I'm here, I'm present, and I'm willing to make a difference. And in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming or disheartening, caring is a light that keeps us going, that reminds us of the beauty in being human. Caring is not just an action, it's a state of being. It's a reflection of our values, our beliefs, and the ideas that guides us. To care deeply about someone or something is say to this person's cause, this relationship is meaningful to us. Worth our time and attention, but why does caring matter so much to us? Why do we feel that pull, almost magnetic force that draws us towards compassion, kindness, and love? At the heart of it, caring provides a sense of purpose. We live in a place of a complicated world, full of challenges and uncertainties. Life itself can be chaotic, unpredictable, and overwhelming. But caring gives us direction, it gives us something to focus on what's bigger than our individual selves. It allows us to transcend our own concern and connect with something that's more meaningful. When we care about others, we get a purpose beyond ourselves. This purpose is like a guiding light, a reason to wake up each day with a sense of intention. This is especially true when it comes to relationships, the close bonds, whether with family, friends, or romantic patterns, are built on the foundation of mutual care and respect. Imagine the life without the bonds, without people who truly matter to us. It would feel empathy, shallow, lacking in depth. It's through caring for others that we find the richness in our relationship. Each act of kindness, every word of support, each moment of shared joy or sorrow. These are the threads that we weave our lives together with others. But the act of caring is not always easy. It requires vulnerability, the willingness to open ourselves up, to let the others see our hearts. When we care deeply, we expose ourselves to the possibility of pain, of loss, of disappointment. We risk the possibility that our care may not be reciprocated, or that those we care about may not always meet our expectations. And yet, we continue to care because the rewards, the connection, the love, the joy are worth that very risk. The willingness to be vulnerable, to care despite the risks, is often too one of the bravest things we can do. It's a testament to the strength of human spirit, to our capacity for resilience. Each time we open our hearts, we expand our capacity for love and compassion. We grow stronger, wiser, more empathetic. To the expectations of caring, we learn about ourselves, about our boundaries, our values, and our own needs. And while caring connects us with others, it also connects us with ourselves. When you care deeply, you begin to understand our hearts, our capacity of love. You start to see that caring is not a weakness, but a strength. It's a choice. Choice of engage with the world, show up fully, to invest in others. Caring is an affirmation of life itself, declaration that we're willing to be part of something bigger, something beautiful, even if it's sometimes painful. Caring also teaches us about acceptance. It teaches us that we cannot control everything, that we cannot shield those we love from all life changes. Sometimes all we can do is be there, to offer shoulder, a listening ear, a word of encouragement. In these moments, we realize that caring is not about fixing others' problem or take out their pain. It's about walking beside them, being present, holding a space for their experiences. This kind of caring, accepting, patient, unconditional, is the most powerful form of all. It's take the kind of care that says, I'm here, no matter what. It's a reminder that we don't have to look all the answers, that our presence is enough. This acceptance, this willingness to simply be there is one of the most profound gifts we can offer. Yet, even as we care deeply for others, it's important to remember that care for our own selves. Caring for others does not mean neglecting our own needs or sacrificing our own well-being. In fact, the more we care for ourselves, the more we can care for others. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's about giving ourselves permission to rest, to recharge, to set boundaries. It's about recognizing that what we do deserves kindness and compassion. Self-care is a profound foundation that allows us to continue caring for others without burning themselves. It's a practice to tending ourselves, to our needs, so that we can show up for others truly and authentically. When we take time for ourselves, we are not being selfish. We are not being responsible. We are nurturing our own resilience, our own capacity to give, so that we can continue to be there for those who matters to us. Caring in all its forms is an act of love. It's an expression of humanity, a reminder of shared connection. When we care, we remind ourselves of what truly matters. Stripe away the distractions, the superficial concern, and focus on the people, the values, and the relationship that gives our life depth. We realize that in the end, it's not material success or external achievements that brings us fulfillment, but the love we share, the kindness we offer, and the connection we build. And so, why do you care so much? Because caring is your way to engage with life and finding meaning in the world. It's a way of saying that people matter, that kindness matters, that love matters. It's a way of creating a life that is rich, meaningful, and connected. Each time you care, you add a little more light to the world, a little more love, a little more hope, to make a difference, even in ways you may never see. And it is a beautiful thing.